some information there for you on the pictures as well, and use it to connect to others if you like so.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. So welcome everybody to the absolute final, not final as in forever, but just the final one for 2020, the Silicon Beach Virtual Pitch Night. So in the spirit of reconciliation, Silicon Beach acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today, and particularly any of those that are on the call today. Always was and always will be. So tonight, just before we actually get started into everything, I just want to reiterate the primary mission of Silicon Beach and why we have gathered here today. So Silicon Beach primary mission is to empower founders. So that's most of you that are on this call. So our vision is to create an environment where founders can feel really supported, educated and empowered to fulfill their startup vision and values. And also I'd add to that as well, really comfortable. This is a really comfortable, safe space for you to sort of get all your startup ideas out of there. So a little bit of housekeeping. We are recording the pitch night tonight, as we've just made everybody aware. Please make sure you mute your audio so that there are no extra noises. And as David mentioned, we really encourage you to chat amongst yourselves, provide encouragement and feedback to pitches in the chat. We really encourage you to introduce yourself as well and pop in your LinkedIn details because this is all about sort of everyone getting to know each other and the acknowledgement there. So without much further ado, I'm going to hand over to the Silicon Beach lead, David Hauser, to say a few words about our sponsors and our prizes.
Thank you so much, Karen, and welcome everyone from my side as well. Just checking that I'm not muted. I'm not. That's good. Yeah, Silicon Beach, we're all about empowering founders, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors and community partners. And our sponsors for tonight are App Demo Videos with Adam Weiss, who is not here. He's doing product and service videos for startups and is having an awesome service. So if you're after a web presence, videos for YouTube for your company, please reach out to Adam at App Demo Videos. We have Yalma Digital Agency. It's a web development agency, and they're working together with us for over 2 years now. And we have startup Onramp. That's Colin Kinner. He is actually an affiliate partner of ours. He's running a startup pre-accelerator program. And he does have a special offer for all Silicon Beach members for his online course for half the regular price. I think it's about $499. So check out Startup Onramp if you like. So I will pop it in the chat later. Tonight we also have prizes. One prize, which is incredible sum, is from AirWallex. AirWallex is giving 100,000 Australian dollars worth of free conversions for your international transactions of your startup. So that's a pretty amazing prize. We have also another amazing prize from YBF, and I would like to hand over to Kate Eriksson, one of our awesome judges, to introduce her prize herself.
Thanks, David. We're just delighted to be here and looking forward to the pitches. So YBF Ventures is an innovation and tech hub, and we'd love to offer you 3 months working space in Melbourne or Sydney or both for 2 desks and access to all the meeting rooms and help anything we can help you with while you're there.
Awesome. Thanks, Kate. What an amazing prize and how helpful for early stage founders like our community. And then we have one more prize, which is our beloved Karen Finch, our host. She's offering a video. Karen, you want to elaborate?
Sure thing. I always wonder whether it's surprise or whether people get scared of it, but certainly what I do. So I'm the CEO of Legally Yours, and we are an online automated legal marketplace that takes the confusion and fear out of engaging a lawyer by making sure that the lawyer provides you upfront fixed fees and you know exactly what you're paying for. So we don't Google search. You come onto Legally Yours and we match you to the right lawyer with the right expertise without the bill shock. Part of what I do is I'm very passionate about telling the stories not only of our lawyer members and why they became lawyers, but also with our clients around, you know, why they started their businesses and those sorts of things. So we're doing a lovely startup series of founder stories. So I am offering someone tonight who's pitching the opportunity to be in an interview with myself. I'll interview you for 10 minutes, get to the crux of your story and actually share that amongst, you know, our 10,000 plus connections on LinkedIn and really help you get your story out there and make sure that the ask that you're asking for tonight is amplified. So that will be what I'll be doing tonight too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of community partners, people that are not supporting us financially, but with their service and helping the community get going. And one of those community partners is here today. It's KJ Wong. From Awake by 5 a.m. KJ, would you like to introduce yourself and what you are doing?
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me for this. I am a sales coach. So like any other business, sales is very important. Without it, your business literally could not exist. So I help you offer your client differentiating value, helping you in terms of like the sales technique, as well as the sales process. And if you in a position to scale your business with salespeople, of course, like I will be able to assist you there as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, KJ. I hope you can still hear me because I'm having a little bit of difficulty here. Our other community partners, we have Co-Roster, humanizing rostering. That's John. Easy to Visa, making travel visas easy, which is Sid. Go Viable, accelerate productivity and cut to market, time to market, which is Robert, who is not here today. Legally Yours, we had Karen. We have Simpatico, they're helping you with communication with your team and your customers. We have Wake Up on Earth, Cullen, he is helping you with your SEO for your website. And we have Think Innovation, that's myself. I am a coach for innovation and design thinking. So I'm helping you to identify that your service or product, your startup idea is viable and how to evolve it through the design process to actually get an MVP out there that you can test with your clients. That's it from our side. I'm not holding us back any longer. Back to Karen and let's start the show.
Thanks so much, David. And you're perfectly on time too. So tick for you, gold star for tonight. So now on to the main event. So we have 8 pitchers registered tonight to pitch for you. So just to go over the rules, each pitcher will have 90 seconds to pitch. And David is our timekeeper tonight. So he'll sound a little bell at the 90-second mark. So when you hear that, just try and wind up your pitch as soon as you can. You will get a chance to add some extra additional things when the judges actually do their feedback. And on that point, so the judges will have about 4 minutes to sort of jump in and ask some questions and sort of get you to clarify anything that you've missed out around your business, and we'll also be timekeeping that component. So we've heard from a couple of our judges, but let me please formally introduce them. So tonight we are so lucky to have Kate Bennett Eriksson from YBF Ventures. Kate is part of the executive team at YBF and is also the founder and director of Hello Ed, which is a health technology marketplace. So thank you so much, Kate, for joining us. We were supposed to have David Tan from AirWallex today, who has offered that amazing prize. Unfortunately, David has taken ill today, so we have the most amazing stand-in, not a fill-in. We're so pleased to have him here. So we have Anthony Curtin, who is a lawyer who works with emerging tech, both here and overseas. He's an investor in emerging businesses, and he's also the founder of numerous successful startups, and he's the principal and director of Merton Lawyers. So thank you so much, Anthony, for stepping in at such short notice, and we're really incredibly excited to have you as part of the judging panel. And last but not least, or you can say hello if you'd like, Anthony.
No. I was hoping you didn't see me on mute. But thanks for having me, Karen.
I see everything. I see everything.
I know, but you cut to the next one, so I'll let you go.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have KJ Wong from Awake by 5 a.m. So as KJ mentioned, he's the founder of Awake by 5 a.m., an organisation that empowers sales teams to deliver differentiating value through sales training, coaching, management, strategy, and processes. So thank you so much to our really fantastic panel of judges tonight. All right, so let's get into it. Enough from me. So I'm going to call on our first picture, which is Heng. If you just unmute and then let us know when you're ready, and we will start the clock. But we've got Heng here from Bookery.
Hey, thanks. So I'll share my screen. Oh no, I can't. Okay.
Yeah, you might have to do so we don't share screens on these ones, Heng, so you can actually just go through it and talk through it. Yep.
So
you let us know when you're ready to start the clock.
So my idea came from, I was reading a book, and my niece is kind of 7 years old, and my idea was for why not have like a metric system where we could track the data in terms of how we read, like the number of pages we read, how many books we read, and I'll just go check the weekly books you read, and just comparison from last week and the previous week. It's kind of like a motivation factor for kids. I could see it's where we can reverse the current phenomenon of online content. How kids are always attracted to the screens. We can reduce screen time by having this online to offline connection where kids can use this data to motivate them to keep reading. And I've noticed that my niece has read more during every night to keep on track with the data, because we record every time she finishes a book and how many pages she read and the time it took her to read. So it's similar to how Pokemon Go got teenagers out of the house to exercise. I see this as another concept where we can turn our attention back to paperbacks in terms of physical books. And I could definitely see this as an idea where it could be like a digital detox, I could say. So probably trying to focus on kids as the market.
Time to wrap it up, my friend.
Sorry, what's that?
Please finish.
I'm done, or what's that? How does it work?
Yes, 90 seconds.
Okay, so.
And feel free, just your ask. What would you like today? What's your big ask from the community today?
I'm a creative background, so obviously I just need some, I guess, human capital to get things applying the idea into the software. So just human capital, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, love it. Well, thank you, Heng. Thank you so much. 90 seconds goes by very, very quickly. So I applaud you for getting through it. And I love the fact that you've based this idea on a personal experience and something that, that's where those best purposeful businesses come from. Over to our judges. Kate, I might go to you first for some feedback.
Thanks, Karen. Heng, well done on thinking about that. It's a great cause in the online, offline. How are kids motivated? Is it a graph or is it something else? And who are you thinking of working with to either test it or distribute it?
In terms of testing, the similar concept would be starting at schools, because I would think we would get the most user testing source. Just like how Facebook started, it started at universities. So it's the same concept. So start at schools, get the most data and get the most testers, users. And what was the first question again? Sorry.
How are the kids motivated? Is it like a graph or a star system, or do they?
Yeah, so my idea was quite very rough. I just opened an Excel spreadsheet and I just put in columns and basically what's the title of the book, the date you read it, how many pages for this book, and then weekly books, weekly pages, week-to-week pages. But I would envision when it gets up and running, you would have an app, just like a mobile app, or even a desktop version. But probably an app, and graphs and metrics. Like a Fitbit for your mind is the ultimate vision.
Okay, thank you. I like that, Fitbit for your mind. I get the vision. KJ, did you have comment and feedback for him?
A question actually, how do you plan to monetize at the end when it is up and running?
Probably ads, I would say, on the app. I was envisioning where it could also probably later on enforce like a similar to what Instagram has at the moment, like a where once there's a user base, then friends can open an account and other friends can open an account and they can all share the books they've read. They can share the data, and there can also be leaderboards. They can compete against each other how many books they've read, and then on that space we can implement a few ads here and there. But I haven't really thought about the money part, but I would say ads because yeah.
Thank you. And Anthony, did you have some feedback before we head on to our next question?
I just was wondering, so at the moment, it sounds like you've got a real MVP there with an Excel sheet. Well, at what stage is it at, and how many people have you, I suppose, taken through the journey?
It's just my niece where I've kind of trial and error. Like, I didn't really initiate, like, I don't initiate like, okay, it's reading time, I leave the books there and, and she just reads and I just input what she does. So that's, yeah, there's no, I haven't tested with thousands of people or hundreds of people, It's just like my personal experience. I've noticed this.
Look, I've got to do a reader with my 6-year-old tonight, and I cannot tell you how many times I've lost the book I need to update all the time. So you're actually hitting some form of a pain point as a parent, and I think you should really be talking to them, because I have to go to her the school reception all the time to pick up a new book because we keep losing it. So yeah,
I realize that you can't force kids to do what they want. You need to, they need to initiate them. They need to make the initiation. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'd suggest some parenting Facebook groups. Anthony, do you? Yeah. If you
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's many channels, but if you can get into one of those schools, I mean, we've got a lot of clients that have done probably more from the wellbeing space for students and stuff, and they've done, once you get into those channels with schools and you build the trust, that you can really grow pretty quickly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, judges, for the wonderful feedback. And Heng, please put your contact details of how people can get a hold of you in the chat. And I'll ask that of every picture, if you could just pop your LinkedIn or however you'd like to be contacted by the group. One of the things I know that work so well with these nights is that people get contacted afterwards by all sorts of people wanting to help out and provide them with connections. And that's what this community is all about. So look out for Heng's details in there and put your hands together. Well done, Heng. Very brave of you. Thank you so much. Well done. Very good. All right, on to our next picture. We have Samanvay from mLabels. So unmute and let us know when you're ready to go, and we'll start timing.
Cool. Hey guys, so tech companies and university groups are using AI algorithms to change the medical world, but a common roadblock there is obtaining high quality training data. So let's say a company is trying to predict the presence of a tumor on a chest x-ray. First, the AI algorithm needs to know exactly what a tumor looks like. So they need to expose it to multiple examples of chest x-rays with and without a tumor. Then if a tumor is present, then they'll be labeled on the x-ray. Now this data set is called the training data. And the better the training data, the better the algorithm. Now for this, organizations need a radiologist to label thousands of x-rays. This process can be very costly and time consuming. And this is where mLabels come in. We recruit and maintain an offshore team of expert labelers who are qualified doctors. We build the necessary labeling tools, do the labeling, and undertake quality control so they can keep busy changing the medical world with their AI algorithms. We support labeling of x-rays, handwritten, and digital notes. And currently we're in conversation with the University of Sydney for potential projects to help with. So that's mLabels.
Amazing. I think you even beat the 90-second, the 97 clock there. That was awesome. What a phenomenal idea. And so, yeah, loved it. So judges, who's unmuting first for some feedback? Kate. You are muted first.
Thank you very much. I loved the concept, and I really love the depth of it. You clearly know what you're talking about and what problem to solve there. What's the main barrier for you, and how can people help?
So really the main barrier is just the network. We definitely need help with warm interest to potential companies. We definitely know that this is a pain point. And the funny thing is that we missed out on a deal with University of Sydney because they wrapped up the project because they couldn't find any experts to label their medical data sets. And that's exactly what we were trying to find. And we just missed it by a short period of time. So definitely just warm interest to potential customers and just anyone that you might think would use this type of service. So any just AI healthcare companies, as I'm pretty sure they all need some sort of labeling data set.
If you have any information on it, maybe I could just drop it in the chat, because it's
Yep.
really interesting area. You did really well, by the way, explaining something quite complex in a short period of
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. KJ, would you like to provide some feedback?
Yeah, a couple of questions. What is an AI provider? Like I've never, AI medical provider, who are these? I've never heard of those terms before.
Yeah, so AI, so any, so you could have companies that are using AI algorithm to use, to let's say spot a tumor on a chest x-ray, or it could be they have medical notes at their disposal and they're using natural language processing to highlight what the symptoms are so that they can come up with a pre-diagnosis. So there's companies that already do that. So there's one called Babylon Health in the US, which has a chatbot, and then their NLP algorithm chats with the patients and they take the symptoms and generate predictions on what the diagnosis could be based on those symptoms. And to actually run those predictions, you definitely need a lot of labeled data set, because you're pretty much holding the hand of the AI algorithm to really teach it like almost a kid what to look out for, what is false positives and all of that jazz. And you definitely need a lot of training data set to achieve something at that scale.
Okay.
Amazing. Thank you. You're very good at explaining these very technical terms. Now I'm learning so much. Anthony, over to you.
No, that's great. Well done. I just had a quick question. So are you actually holding yourself out as, because you were saying how you've got a number of doctors putting, tagging and labeling data set.
Yep.
Are you actually a data set group or are you at what point does it stop as advice, as medical advice, to where you become more of an analyst or an AI provider?
No, so we don't actually provide any of the AI. So the AI is done by the clients.
Okay.
So the clients would own the data set. And that's also another way for us to sidetrack data privacy issues.
Yes.
So they would be in charge of the data privacy, upholding the highest standard of data privacy. They would de-identify that information and give us that information for labeling. Mm-hmm. And all we do is label that data set and give it back to them. And there's a whole bunch of problems that we solve where you need to make sure the training data is of the highest quality, and you need to make sure it's extremely accurate to be able to be fed to models. Yep. And that there also comes a scale issue. Where do they find the doctors? And we have come up with a solution that we've got a couple of doctors working with us in India who have the similar medical qualifications. And we can leverage that kind of change in exchange rate to provide the same quality of service at a cheaper cost to Australian companies. And that's kind of our leverage there.
And do they need to be, I mean, I don't know, like, is there any concerns about having offshore doctors applying to these data sets? Like, or does it need to be an Australian doctor registered for an Australian entity, or how does that work?
Yeah, so as long as the data is de-identified, we can move the data as we see fit. Now, that's another problem we're trying to solve, whereas university research groups would probably be more than happy to, de-identify the information and take it away. But then if we're talking to, let's say, insurance companies that are in health insurance and they've got their own algorithms that they're training, maybe they've got the funding to be able to afford Australian doctors and they're they don't really have that restrictions, and maybe they're more worried about the data privacy issue. So one part of our product at a later stage is definitely thinking about how can we help those entities de-identify that information so that we can ease that process to really get them to hire us.
Okay.
Amazing stuff. Samanvay, if you can pop in the chat your contact details of, I know David's popping them in there as well, but just how you'd like best to be contacted, or even how people can find out more information. Absolutely amazing idea. Thank you so much for pitching. So we are all clapping, well done you. Thank you, and thank you again to our judges.
Cheers.
So over to our next pitcher, we have Dimple from your coaching side. So Dimple, you unmute and go away. Not go away, start.
Yeah, I'm ready. Silicon Beachers, a few days ago, someone very observant pitched me this idea of creating better websites for coaches, and it immediately resonated with my experience with coaches. They were not happy with their websites. Their websites were not showing their true brand image. They were not able to meet their business goals with their website. And in fact, they were not even able to easily operate their website. Hi, I'm Dimple Gursahani. I'm a user experience and I'm user interface designer on a mission to create more powerful website for coaches. And to know more about the coaches, I have already done an extensive desktop research. And for tonight, I have two asks. First one, if you are a coach or you know one, then please help us in our research by taking part in the short survey or one of our friendly interviews. The link to the short survey will be present in the chat. And the second ask is, again, if you're a coach or if you know one and you are looking for a designing, redesigning, or just analyzing your website, then please get in touch with me. I already have experience of creating websites for coaches. And right now, our services will be available for you with affordable prices. My LinkedIn link, my survey, and our website, your coaching site would be present on the link. Hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dimple. That was great. Thank you. Very clear, and you got it all out there, and amazing. Thank you very much for pitching tonight, and you made it in the 90 seconds too. So judges, who would like to provide some feedback first? Kate, you're on fire today. You're the first one. Go, Kate.
4 minutes and take all the time. Well done, Dimple. Again, really clear, and I can see your passion about coaching. Is there anything new about your business that makes it kind of I guess a new approach? Is it looking at websites and improving them, or is there something you think once you get an expertise in this area, you can kind of bottle, if you like?
So yes, definitely. If I get more experience, as in we get more experience on it, we can provide just the niche for the coaches. So in my experience, what I found that the coaches out there are going to the web developers who have general experience, but this is a niche. So just for the coaches, what I noticed that there's a huge market for coaches in Australia itself and globally as well. So if we just concentrate on the coaches and the kind of website they need, we can fulfill more of their needs.
Thank you.
Great answer. You've got it there. KJ, or actually, I might go to Anthony. Mix it up. There you go. Anthony, you go first, and then over to you, KJ.
Dimple, that was great. And awesome that you're really passionate about coaches. It's such a great opportunity in Australia. How big is the market? How big is the opportunity if you were to get this moving? And well, like how many coaches? Yeah, what's the opportunity there?
Yeah, so I came across this research report conducted by ICF and PwC, and the coaching market is increasing increasing every year. So in 2019, the global market was around 71,000, and right now in Australia, it's 4% of it, which is great, which is around 3,800. And and those all coaches, most of the coaches belong to Generation X, who did not grow up with internet so much. So that would be very helpful if we can get across building better websites for them.
And would you have a fixed price, or how would you monetize that?
So the plan for the later year is coming months is that we will create a template for template for coaches. There will be 3 kind of templates: portfolio template, one with the CMS, and one with even higher, which has LMS, online courses. And all these ones have different prices. So portfolio one is very easy, so it might be around 500, and the second one, which is the CMS one, would be around $5,000, and the LMS one would be around $15,000. And these all prices are based on the research we have done by reaching out to web developers around in Australia.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic. And KJ, over to you.
Well, Dimple, that was quite nice. I have quite a lot of followers on LinkedIn, and at the same time, they often try to sell to me the SEOs and website side of things, as you can imagine. Every time I ask them what differentiating value they actually offer, because there's so many of them before this sort of like company offering help in the kind of like website side of things, none of them other than service is the one that they say that can differentiate them. Can you please tell me what is one thing that no one in this world do that you do that help coaches on website?
So our plan is to know the coaches and the coaches' users as well, their needs. So we will do a whole user experience designing so that we know the industry and we have the competitive edge against all the other coaches in this industry for whom we are creating the website. We know their users, and then we have user interface designing as well. And at the end, when the web development is created, since like I told that we will have 3 kind of templates, so it will be much cheaper to the coaches as well, while not compromising on the quality of what their needs are. Does that answer your question?
Sure. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Dimple. Well, you have gone, you can relax, sit back, relax. Well done on your beautiful pitch. Very calming voice. It was really wonderful. So thank you so much. So over to our next pitcher. We have Melissa Daisley from Brieft app. Melissa, unmute and let us know when you're ready to go.
Yeah, sure. I'm ready.
Okay, off you go.
I didn't mean to applause myself either. That was typical.
We totally got it.
Okay, good. So my name is Melissa Daisley. I'm the founder of Brieft. I'm an ex-client manager from the design industry. So design studios currently use a combination of offline tools like Word documents and PDF templates and communicate their clients to fill in the gaps via email, Slack, and multiple project management tools to currently create a brief. Currently, when they're combining those multiple methods, it results in silo communication, human error, and on average, weeks of delays before the brief from the client is ready for the creative team to even begin work. The design industry is a $250 billion global industry with client management teams at a cost of millions per year. These teams are burdened with repetitive manual tasks that, if solved, could potentially save studios hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. So Brieft is a briefing collaboration tool for creative studios and that reduces human cost. So Brieft is a cloud SaaS web application that creates a design brief collating all the correct information first time, every time. Mandatory questions, almost zero text fields, internal reviews, and whole team transparency eliminate weeks it takes to prepare a brief to just a few clicks. There are currently 400,000 design studios globally, and we plan to capture 2% of the global market in the first 3 years. So at this stage, we're almost ready to launch our MVP, and we're currently negotiating a valuation with an angel investor. We are interested in talking to people with marketing, sales, or PR backgrounds, and anyone with design studio connections who would like to test our prototype.
Melissa, you can give yourself a round of applause. That was awesome. Well done, you.
Thanks.
Well done. You can give yourself one now. We'll all put our reactions on.
I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I love it. We'll do it. We'll do it. Fantastic. Anthony, straight off the mark this time. You've got some
I
feedback.
was today working with our branding guys and we were talking all about briefs. So this is very interesting. Just two questions. We work off, and I'm not from a creative background. So you're the expert here, but I just want to understand. We're using Google Docs at the moment.
Yes.
Why would I use Brieft? And secondly, have customers used this and what's their feedback?
Yeah, sure. So customers have used it. We have a prototype that we're testing at the moment. It's a Figma prototype. The MVP isn't ready for beta testing for probably another 2 to 3 months. We've been developing it over the last 12 months and have gone through the iteration process with user base. And I've forgotten your first part of your question. Oh, how is it different to Google Docs? Yes. So the briefing outcomes are all managed internally inside of the app. So it's essentially, if you wanted to think about it, combining tools, it would essentially kind of be like Trello and also something like Google Docs. The thing that's unique to the actual briefing platform though, is that all of the questions are carefully curated to ensure that it captures all of the right information. There's almost no text fields either. So all of the answers can be pre-populated. We've essentially optimized the user experience for the client so that they're able to get all of the correct information. A document like that for a studio to create, for each individual studio to create, they takes a lot of effort and also time.
And even from the client end, we took forever. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a laborious process for the client as well, and it's definitely not pleasurable for them.
Thanks so much, Melissa. Thanks, Anthony. Great question. KJ, over to you.
Great work, Melissa. Certainly, when it comes to algorithm and all that, like how do you determine what is the right information and what to exclude to present to make sure that the client can actually see it, because that's a decision-making process. So you make that decision, not the client. So how do you choose what is right and what is wrong?
Yeah, so it's all about the market segment and the way that we're actually launching the application. So the market segment that we're targeting is creative and digital design studios. We've spoken with a multitude of different studios to craft each of the questions and also the responses as well.
Okay.
Fantastic. And Kate, over to you.
Well done, Melissa. I can definitely see the need for this. And a designer offering a well-designed experience for design studios. You want to be on your toes with that, I'm sure. Are you looking for angel funding to build it or sell it?
Not to build it. I've created a development and design team using convertible debt notes, which was something that was actually offered to me at the beginning of the process from an incubator at a cost of $40,000 per month. I actually decided that I could build that team out myself for a fraction of that cost, which I've been able to do. So it would be to launch. So at the moment, we actually have an angel investor that we're speaking to and has agreed to fund us. I'm trying to be incredibly prudent with the amount of funding that we're asking for. So we've got the funds to launch. I'm more interested, I guess, in talking to investors post-launch.
Okay, good luck to you. Sounds amazing.
Thanks.
And Anthony, I saw you unmute.
How much are you looking to raise?
So the amount that I've looked to raise in order to launch is $35,000, and that's been confirmed. We're just in negotiation with the valuation at the moment. In terms of looking to raise post-launch, there's kind of a few different factors in, especially to do with my current team as well, that I'm kind of finalizing. But we're probably looking to raise between $150,000 and $250,000.
I love it. You've got everything in a row. Well, KJ, sorry, quickly, and then we'll go on to our next one.
Yep, just a quick question. What you going to do with the first round of funding? What is it going to do?
The $35,000.
Yeah, what is it?
That pays for company setup, legal, some of my expenses, some design, And when I say legal, setting up all of the IP, all of the current contracts, I've been writing all of the legal contracts myself, which apparently is an okay idea for a short period of time, but not long term.
Oh, Melissa,
so,
no.
You got lawyers here. You got lawyers here.
We're all freaking out. We're all freaking out.
No, that's right. Yeah. So I need to solidify some of those and make sure that they're obviously binding for all parties involved.
Absolutely. And I think you've got Anthony there. He'll contact you as well. Yeah, I'll just put my 2 cents worth in. If you don't get those legal documents right, yeah,
Absolutely.
they can sometimes put you the most at risk. But Melissa, thank you. So loved hearing about it. Well done. And yeah, thank you. We've put your contact details in where everyone can get in contact with you and connect with you. So thank you. So on to our next picture. We have Fern Ho from the Leaf Protein Co. So Fern, unmute and say hello and let us know when you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Fantastic. Okay, well, I am Fern, one of the co-founders from the Leaf Protein Company, and our mission is to help sustainably and nutritiously feed 10 billion people by 2050. The specific problem that we're addressing lies with food brands who have very few plant protein ingredients to work with, despite the huge demand for plant-based foods. And these few ingredients all have problems, from being environmentally unfriendly, having allergens, are genetically modified, and suffer from crop contamination. So we're introducing a new type of plant protein that is sustainable, allergen and GMO-free, by unlocking Earth's most abundant source and sustainable source of protein, which is green leaves. Our Pereskia protein is made from the leaves of a drought-tolerant cactus that is 2 times more productive than soybeans and uses 5 times less water than rice. We've already spoken to a number of food companies, both globally and locally, that have asked to sample our Pereskia ingredients. So we're currently raising funds to scale production of our Pereskia ingredients so that we can start to develop formulations with these food companies. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fern. There's a big clap there. Well done. Awesome. Kate, you have hot off the button. You've unmuted. Go.
I'm going to hold back here a little bit because, you know, I don't want to jump in too often, but I can't help it. Well done, Fern. That's so interesting and in demand. And well done on solving a problem with, you know, science and nature, basically. What do you want from this group?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have some very keen food brands that are looking to develop the formulation, testing out ingredients. Some of the larger ones in particular, they're asking for large volumes to sample. So at the moment, because we are a fairly early stage startup, we're producing in the grams and they need kilograms. And so the funding that we're looking to raise will allow us to expand our supply so that we can actually supply that bigger volume to test.
Okay, thank you. How long have you been going? Sorry, just to see another one.
So my co-founder first started early this year in around about March, so just under a year.
Thank you. Well done.
Well done. KJ, over to you.
I'm curious, Fern, well done, by the way. The question is, like, have you ever thought about using your kind of like the people buying from you eventually, or testing them, fund the actual what you needed them yourself? Would they do that?
Yes, so that's some of the options that we're considering, that we sort of co-develop some of this with some of those larger food brands, and we're sort of in the process of doing some of that as well. But we also recognize that with some of the larger brands, time to market and also speed can become an issue, and so that's what we're trying to avoid as well.
For sure. Okay, like I mean, negotiation can be placed based on like how much volume they need, because time is an asset for them as much as it is for you as well, isn't it? So if they're really interested in this product, then they'll give you more money in terms of getting you, you know, started in terms of getting that raw material as fast as possible. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I guess it depends also how we negotiate in terms of whether we can work independently off of their sort of projects, and I suppose agreeing with them what their involvement is with how we develop. But yes, agreed, absolutely. They are also looking for some level of speed.
Fantastic. Anthony, over to you.
Yeah, that was great, Fern. A really very succinct pitch. I'm really interested in the space, particularly from an agricultural perspective and all that. What's the competition like? And who are the big threats?
Yeah, so currently the market is still dominated by your Cargills, your Kerrys, so those big food ingredient companies. We have actually had the opportunity to speak to a few of them. And just because of the way in which they're structured and the volume at which they produce, they're sort of hamstrung a little bit to continue working with your soy proteins, your pea and your wheat. So for us, we currently, Purescia is native to Brazil. My co-founder is Brazilian, and that's how we know about this plant. So one of the benefits of Purescia is that it's very fast growing, which is why it's so productive. And so it means that once we start with the plantation, it basically takes about 3 months to get to that first harvest. And after the first year, you can, in the right sort of conditions, it can be harvested at least once a month. So very, very productive. Yeah, and it's a regenerative, so it's a perennial plant, so no tilling required, and it's perfect for regenerative agriculture. So we have been speaking to some farmers up in Queensland as an alternative plant protein crop.
Excellent.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Fern. Thank you for bringing and for pitching. And I just wanted to pause and just, I'm so incredibly blown away by some of the ideas that we get on these pitch nights. You know, all we get from you really is an application form which says your name and your business name. And every time I do these, I'm just blown away by the absolute caliber of these pitches and the products and the ideas, just phenomenal. So thank you so much, Fern. Okay, over to our final pitcher for tonight. And we're doing some great timing here. So I'd like to introduce Damian Watson. So Damian Watson is from mSpot Meditation Finder, which is an app that helps people find and share the best places in the world to meditate. So Damian, unmute and let us know when you're ready to go.
Thanks very much. Can everybody hear me okay?
We sure can. Go.
Excellent. So I'm going to start with my ask, if that's okay. I'm searching for a tech co-founder to help me build out my MVP. The MVP's already received some promising traction. So yeah, developers or even investors, please tune in. The mSpot meditation app helps people find and share the best places in the world to meditate. Users have referred to it as the TripAdvisor of the global meditation community. The MVP was recognised by the Wall Street Journal as one of the top 5 meditation apps of the year. And just last week, I entered the Startup Victoria Regional Pitch Contest and mSpot won that. So we're sort of on a bit of a roll, and I'm hoping to find a developer to help me build out the MVP and get to the build out the income producing functionalities of the app. So mSpot, it simply means meditation spot, or a place to meditate. It's a global directory of free and paid meditation spots, and it eliminates your excuse of having nowhere to meditate. So the big problem is 70% of people quit their meditation habit within 3 months of meditating. So thereby they miss out on all the positive benefits, which we won't go into now, but I'll assume everyone agrees that there's lots of benefits to it. But not only for the individual, there's also a flow-on effect. The meditation and related businesses, they're losing potential ongoing business when these people stop meditating. And also for communities as a whole, it means reduced health and well-being, which can then lead to increased health insurance premiums, etc. So we won't go into all of that right now. The market is massive. I can address that in the questions if you like. But the MVP traction so far, it includes over 2,000 users globally. There's over 1,000 verified mSpot locations around the globe. We've got a waiting list for Android users, 4,000 plus on the Transcendental Meditation community waiting list, and there's multiple earned media placements as well. The verbally verified income streams, people have tried to give me money for this, but because I haven't had the functionality ready, I haven't been able to accept money. And I've never written a line of code in my life, so I've had a developer who did help me to start with, but he's now stepped away. So listings for meditation and wellness businesses are one, and I can elaborate further on other categories such as acupuncture and prayer spots for the Islamic community later. Relevant location-based advertising at specific points throughout the user experience, and white label solutions. The first one we've got lined up will effortlessly add 600,000 new users.
Maybe
we're going to. Your bell was very faint, and you were on a roll there, David. No, that's okay. It was very, it was very faint. I think we've got lots of questions to ask you, though. Incredible, and congratulations on your win. That's amazing. Thanks. And I love the fact that you're going for it, and this is another amazing place to make sure you get the word out there. Yep. So, judges, over to you. Who would like to unmute first and ask some questions? KJ, over to you.
Damian, awesome. I do meditation myself, and my wife is a yoga teacher and a PT and all that. I'm actually quite intrigued in that, like, is there any studies that relates to location versus motivation? And there's actually a kind of like, I don't know, data against that. You believe that people quit because they don't have a lot of space to, or different space to do that. I mean, is there a relationship between them? That's pretty much your app, right?
That's it. Yeah, it's basically finding places to meditate. So in terms of hard data, there's no real solid evidence out there, other than I've been dealing very closely with, well, basically the biggest meditation organization in the world, and that is their unreleased, and they'd probably not be happy with me mentioning those stats, but they have 600,000 new people every year learn to meditate, and 70% of them they lose within the first 3 months. So they have a 6-week check-in and a 12-week check-in, and the number one reason that they've had for people quitting is because, I've got nowhere to meditate. And I first thought, when I first heard that's rubbish. Like, you can meditate anywhere, and that was, but that was before I had children, and now I understand. Okay, well, maybe the home is no longer a place to meditate, so it's the commute, or it's lunchtime, or it's on the way home from work. So I think, like, anecdotally through this meditation organization, yes, there absolutely is a correlation, but in terms of studies and data, there isn't a study that I can hand over to you.
So the app is like a childcare center as well, to drop off the kids while you actually can do that early.
That's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that one, but
sold. I'm in.
I'll move on.
Oh, love it. Great question too, KJ. Anthony, you've unmuted.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm a meditator, clearly, and I think it's a huge need, and I totally agree. Location is the thing that is the reason why I can't meditate every day, and I totally empathise with kids as well. So they're forever breaking it up. But I just had a question. So, I mean, I always look at that Calm app and the story around that, how they kind of developed. And when you get to a point, like, how are you going to monetize it? Like, there's a number of things that are going through my mind, like whether you monetize it from a private, like, do you become like the Airbnb for meditation sites, or do you go through, like, but what is the one that you really have, that you've tested and worked, and what are the ones that are in the pipeline?
Yeah, well, I'd have to say they're nearly all in the pipe, because it's all verbal and I haven't received 1 cent. But the two main ones, I think, are listings. So the way the app works, I first thought of it when I worked in central London, and I love to meditate on my lunch break. And it's like, where do I go? And I'd go across the road to a church, and there were theatres nearby. And during the day, there was no one there. You could sit in there. So I would upload free mSpots, and members of the community upload free spots. And it could be a church, parks and gardens, rooftops, libraries, temples, whatever. But the income driver is the paid listings from meditation studios, yoga studios, etc., meditation schools, meditation retreats, anywhere where you have to pay to meditate or do yoga or whatever. You have to pay to list, or the business has to pay to list. And again, I've done just verbal. I've visited Mind, Body, Spirit festivals in Australia, Chicago, America, Finland when I lived over there, and anywhere between sort of $75 and $150 per year is pounds, euros equivalent. That's the sort of range that people have been saying, yeah, I'd pay that much for a listing per year. So that's the main one. But the other one is Transcendental Meditation. They want a solution to stop all these people, dropping off their meditation habit, because they don't have you know, as many people to sell their programs to, and they don't want to lose all that potential future business. So they've agreed verbally that we create a white label solution for them. So mSpot, powered by mSpot, you know, as an example, and they would have a private section where their members can upload their own spots, but they can see everyone else's mSpots within the community. So to get back to your question, sorry, it's a long answer, but I think listings is a key one, and white label solutions also is a key one. And just on that, when I was in Chicago, I just went door knocking and found different places, and I found the Center of American Islamic Relations, and there was an article on the radio that day. So I went to visit them, and they said one of the biggest things, we need to pray 5 times a day, and we need to find places to do that, and it's not easy. So we haven't confirmed it yet, but I can create a category for them too. So it wouldn't be just meditation, it could be meditation, prayer, acupuncture. There was an acupuncture group in Finland who wanted me to create a category for them. So there'll be some sort of financial element related to all of those as well.
Awesome. I think that TM's a big one as well, because they don't advertise, they don't market that well. That's the one thing.
Oh yeah.
They don't. So if you can create a channel, that's it.
Yeah. They do and they don't.
You've got 2,000 users and you haven't even created an MVP yet.
No, that is the MVP. So
right. I was like, whew.
Yeah. So what happened? I tried to start small. I started in Iceland because I have a mate there, and because obviously there's two sides to it. There's like actually putting all the spots up. So I thought I'll start small, put some spots in Iceland, meet the community, get them using it. And then I went to New York and I thought I'll go bigger. And then Wall Street Journal came out, and all these people are messaging me from Idaho and wherever, oh, your app's rubbish, there's no spots near me. And so it's sort of, you know, I thought that's a good thing. People want it, but it sort of got out of control a bit. Yeah. Quickly.
Love it. I'm loving your passion about it, Damian. It's you can tell it's awesome. Kate, did you have any final comments for Damian, and then we'll wrap it up?
Great work. I can imagine I'll be meditating. I'll open my eyes and all the Silicon Beaches will be in the same place as me.
Asking for feedback.
Right. No, similar question to Anthony, and great job. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Damian. Thank you so much. Please pop your contact details of how people can find out more about you and how they can get in contact with you with your ask. But that actually concludes our pitching section of this evening. So I just wanted to put my hands together for all of the amazing pitches. I was just looking down the list. Absolutely incredible. I mean, 90 seconds is a really hard thing to get it in. I know I've done it before, and I think I did a really poor job. I did a couple of years ago and nearly had a heart attack I think I nearly fell off the stage. So I just put my hands together for you coming out and doing it. You know, so many phenomenal ideas. So thank you so much for sharing them with us. And we're now going to put the pitches that you've just heard into breakout rooms. So, and we'll do a bit of swapping around. So I'll actually hand over to David to explain the next part of the process. And then at the end, we'll obviously have the prizes and the announcements. So stick around for that.
Cool. Thank you, Karen. So while I distract you a little bit, Rajat is working in the background to arrange the different pictures into separate breakout rooms, and then all of you will be placed in those breakout rooms so you all have the chance to talk to most of the pitchers yourself and ask your questions. But while Rajat is organizing all of that, I want to thank you all very much for